Girls are one of the strongest classes on our server. Although we are representatives of the same species, gameplay on opposite sides of the barricade differs drastically. Some guys consider girls to be an OP class that is impossible to counter. So in this video, I will try to get to the truth and understand if women are really as imbalanced as guys portray them. I will analyze the stats, skills, spawn zones, and attempt to come up with all possible counter methods. At first glance, it may seem that a girl in solo is quite harmless. A regular pepper spray should be enough to deal with her. But just because they don't max out power doesn't mean they don't pose threats. They have many skills in their arsenal that allow them to turn the tide of battle in their favor, which can't be said about their stats. They don't max out damage, their HP isn't much, and they probably haven't heard much about fireballs either. Most girls prefer to level up their culinary skills, and their mastery is not limited to just frying eggs. Some ladies reach such a skill level that they can solo craft a grilled steak or vegetables, and as we know, good food provides noticeable stamina boost. They are often noticed for regular donations, enjoying buying themselves new skins, cosmetics, and other stuff that increases attractiveness points. Of course, not all girls focus on their appearance, but specifically on our server, this build is highly valued. After reaching a certain level of attractiveness, girls unlock the charm skill within themselves, and depending on their attractiveness points, a girl has a chance to charm a guy by applying the infatuation debuff to him. This effect reduces intelligence and consumes in-game currency, so it's better to visit a fortune teller or any other shaman with purification abilities, if afflicted by this debuff. The debuff doesn't affect gay characters, so there is an opportunity to save on healers. Due to men's vulnerability to charm skills, a beautiful girl has decent social characteristics, and the funniest thing is that she doesn't even need to open her mouth to be interesting. As I mentioned earlier, men become dumbfounded and less demanding in the presence of a beautiful girl. When communicating among themselves, girls also have significant bonuses. They can speak simultaneously without losing the essence of the dialogue, while guys, trying to perform more than one task at a time, tend to crash and explode. But this is most likely a bug rather than a mechanic. We're waiting for a patch. Maybe they'll fix it. Women also farm differently. Some grind at jobs, while others successfully engage in marital unions and engage in oxygen depletion on the couch. It all depends on luck points. Belief in zodiac signs grants them the ability to predefine the characteristics of people they're not even acquainted with, and their amulets with mysterious properties ward off any ailment, so don't even attempt to cast curses or hexes on them. Their amulets will reflect them anyway. Not only do girls buff themselves with beauty, but they can also bestow this buff upon their allied girls, enhancing the attractiveness of their entire party. Then, this pack goes farming wealthy guys in clubs, restaurants, and other dungeons. However, some girls prefer a more ascetic gameplay, trying to independently elevate their economic status. In this game, the gameplay is highly variable, so you can encounter women builders as well as women maximizing damage, so not all counter methods are universal here. I warned you. Now, it's time to move on to the most cheat-like abilities. Girls possess an innate talent for offspring reproduction. The talent, called 1 Now, 2 Later, grants a woman a personal minion, which, when properly leveled up, will assist the progenitor in any situation. So when engaging in PvP with a pregnant woman, remember it's 2 against 1, dishonorable combat against honest you, so don't let your guard down. By the way, speaking of PvP skills, the Dance of Honor, a passive skill that allows girls to deal critical damage to vulnerable areas, increases damage to the eggs and eyes by 200%. If equipped with heals, the skill applies a bleeding effect. It might be better to try countering at a distance, but in the case of close combat, a set of medieval knight armor would be quite effective. The next skill is Cat's Fang. In the heat of battle, a girl can activate this skill to deal damage with her teeth. By biting the opponent, the girl will heal by 10% of the damage dealt, and if the opponent is tasty, vampirism increases. Counter. Before battle, coat yourself with cobra venom. Play on their advantages. Another ability, Cry of Privilege, may seem like many players possess this skill, but believe me, women scream louder than anyone you've known. This ability not only deals damage with sound, but also works as in summon, attracting the attention of nearby players. The skill also has a special effect. All units summoned by the cry will automatically fight for the girl's side, and the effect will last until you leave the PvP zone. Counter. Don't farm girls in crowded areas. Raise the Banners is a passive aura that increases the motivation of men in the party with the girl. It's a very strong support skill that gives the girl and her pack of jackals a damage buff. Counter. If you don't have a powerful AoE DPS weapon, it's better not to engage with the lady surrounded by her cavaliers. Looking at these skills, it may seem that a girl is a weak unit since she lacks powerful DPS skills, such as those possessed by boxers. However, their strength lies not in the ability to one-shot enemies, as boxers do, but in their ultimate ability. This is skill that grants girls victory in any confrontation in 90% of time. The ultimate skill is called River of Pain. By activating this ability, a girl directs her mana into her eyes, causing tears. The skill applies the pity effect, reducing morale and motivation by 80%. Every 5 seconds, there's a chance of triggering a scream, which also reduces morale and attracts the attention of bystanders. Not only does the ultimate require very little mana, but it also has no cooldown, and what's even scarier is that it can be activated not only during PvP, but also during a stroll in the park. There are no restrictions on this skill, so some girls can use their ace in the hole in any convenient situation. If a girl activates her ultimate, men have nothing left but to surrender. No tank or paladin can withstand the torment of such a debilitating debuff. The effect will be much stronger if this skill is activated after watching a melodrama. Counter methods. Cry first, no matter how or where, just sob like the creep. From such a turn, the girl will experience dizziness and concussion. This time will be enough to seize the initiative and achieve victory. If you encounter a high-level woman, there is a chance of encountering a counter-crying. In this duel, the one with more mana and who runs out of tears last will win. As we can see, women indeed have many unfair abilities compared to men. With the decent luck, one charm skill can ensure a woman a happy life thanks to the mechanics of marriage. In recent patches, marriage imposes certain duties and additional responsibilities on men. In case of divorce, a woman can apply the "this is mine" ability and take half of the man's belongings. The mechanic seems broken if the same man contributed more impact to the family's economy than the woman did. Of course, men can also use this trick for their own purposes, but such cases are extremely rare. Answering the question of whether women are overpowered, the answer is defiantly yes. They can play a symbiotic gameplay and survive at the expense of men. However, if women don't use charm skills for selfish purposes and grind everything independently, the advantages in gameplay are not as noticeable. Thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel. Goodbye, everyone.